All right, so this is just a video of me reading the biotic and abiotic factors article if you would like to listen to it. An ecosystem is the mix of living and non-living things in an area. Living things depend on non-living things to get the food, energy, and resources they need in order to survive. The non-living things that are present in an environment determine which living things can survive there. Even though they are completely different, living and non-living things affect each other. Together, abiotic or non-living and biotic or living factors create ecosystems. Abiotic factors are the non-living things in an environment. Some examples of abiotic factors are temperature, water, soil, and sunlight. Abiotic factors can include rainfall, wind, or wind eroding rocks, or the sun heating the water of a pond. Abiotic factors affect living things' ability to survive and reproduce. The factors that limit the growth or survival of living things in nature are called limiting factors. For example, the hot climate of the desert limits the number of plants and animals that can survive there. The hot climate is the limiting factor in that example. The carrying capacity is the highest number of organisms that can live in an ecosystem. The carrying capacity of an area depends on the biotic, abiotic, and limiting factors in the ecosystem. Several basic abiotic factors have a big impact on the carrying capacity of all ecosystems. Sunlight is an important abiotic factor. It gives energy to plants so they can grow. It also helps animals heat their bodies. Soil is important too. It gives plants the nutrients they need to grow. Many living things also make their homes in the soil. The type of soil in an ecosystem determines the types of plants that can grow there. Temperature decides which living things can survive in an area. Some living things are made to survive in cold weather. Others are made to survive in hot environments. All living things need water in order to survive. Access to water is very important. Some animals need to live in water, while others just need water to drink. Some animals can live with very little water. Others need a lot of water in order to stay alive. Biotic factors are the living factors in an environment. Biotic factors include all living things, their parts, their relationships, and their waste. Anything that either is living or was alive at one point in time is a biotic factor. Believe it or not, a dead tree branch is a biotic factor. It is made up of cells that used to be living. Biotic factors can be alive and active, like squirrels. Squirrels run around all over the place. Biotic factors can also be non moving. Trees are an example of a non moving biotic factor. Trees are rooted deeply into the ground. Biotic factors also include fish laying eggs in water, bears hibernating during the winter, and wolves hunting deer. All of the living things on Earth can be grouped on several different levels. On the smallest level is a single organism. This could be one rainbow fish or one barn owl. Organisms can then be grouped by population, which means they are lumped together with all the members of their kind of species that live in an area. An example of a population, which make up the second level of groupings, could be all the timber rattlesnakes that live near a wetland. The third level of grouping of organisms is grouping by community. Communities are the combination of all the populations that live in a specific area. An example of a community is all of the crabs, ducks, mosquitoes, alligators, and saltgrass that live near a wetland. An ecosystem is the fourth level, and it is made up of the living community, biotic factors, and the non-living community, abiotic factors, in an area. The final level is the biosphere, which contains all the ecosystems on Earth. Fact. Microorganisms are living things that are too tiny to be seen without magnifying tools. They are also part of communities. Examples of microorganisms include bacteria and fungi. Believe it or not, diseases and parasites are biotic factors too. Test what you learn about biotic and abiotic factors. Try to find as many examples of the two types of factors within the ecosystem of your school or at home in your backyard as you can. Then you're going to answer these questions, guys. Number 1, according to the first paragraph of the text, what is an ecosystem? Number 2, explain why abiotic factors are important in an ecosystem. Number 3, describe the types of things that are considered to be biotic factors. Number 4, explain how living things are categorized into different levels based on the group of focus. Number 5, list and describe the importance of 4 abiotic factors. Number 6, explain the meaning of the term limiting factor.